Hey everyone, good day. This is Professor Roger Flores, an associate professor of the Department of Electrical Engineering of Central Mindanao University, your professor of the subject ES 219, the operations or engineering operations management. Okay, today we are going to start our subject specifically for chapter 1, and it is entitled Introduction. And to start with, we have this the definition of what is operations management. Okay, here we are going to discuss what is operations management, what is operations, what is management. Anyway, this is just the continuation of our subject in your BS degree, which is the engineering management. No, so we have here what is operations management. Operations management is the activity of managing the resources, activity of managing the operations or the managing the resources which produce and deliver goods and services, which maybe our organization will produce a tangible goods, an output, or just a delivery of our services. So we have two types of output here that we are going to discuss. We have the production of tangible object item and the delivery also of the services. Okay, we will go deeper with that one later. So we have these operations. What is an operations? So it can be seen as one of the many functions within the organization. Many functions. Of course, management or managing an organization have several functions. Okay, but of course, this operation is of the one of these many functions of the manager. Okay, so like for example, marketing. Marketing is one of the function of the manager. Okay, so we have an output, even though, for example, here we are an academy, but even though we are an academy, but we are going to, of course, to market also our output, which are our students. Okay, so we will help also our student by giving them, of course, knowledge, technical knowledge, and any other necessary being a student for them to practice very efficient and productive when they finish our uh, program, the BS Electrical Engineering. So that is marketing. That's related to marketing, and also finance. No, that is another function of a manager during operations. Finance function is very important for a manager. We cannot work, we cannot function, we cannot operate without money or financial. So that is one of the lookout of the manager. Okay, so personnel also. So it is understood that not only these operations, not only for this marketing, not only the finance, but the manager also is also responsible for his or her human resources. No, human resources, the managers, the line managers, supervisors, operation managers, and any other personnel, including laborers and other employees. No, okay, so those are some of the functions of the managers, and one of it is the operation function. Okay, so go deeper with the operation functions can be described as that part of the organization devoted to the production of delivery of goods and services. Delivery of goods and services. Okay, so our output, as I have mentioned, is either goods or it is either services. Okay, so we have these differences between manufacturing and service operations. We have the manufacturing and service operations. Actually, we have these two classifications of our operations, no? So we have this or of our organization. First, we have the manufacturing, and the second is the services. So when we say manufacturing, we have it is an organization that produced physical and tangible items. Okay, physical and tangible items which can be stored as inventory or before delivery to the customers. Okay, so it's very clear, no, that our output, our product is anything that can be touched or it has a physical feature and so on. So, like for example, if our company or industry is producing cars, so our output is cars and it is tangible items. Okay, and also it can be stored in of course in storage facilities, no, before it will be delivered to the customers. Okay, so we have also these service organizations. So service organizations produce intangible items that cannot be produced ahead of time. It will be produced on time every time it is needed. That is an example of service organizations. So, like for example, doctors, like for example, genetic engineers, for example, or a civil engineer will give or practice services, making plans, making designs, and so on. A doctor have its own patients and clients for the lawyers. So these are some of the organization that render services. So their output is services, not any tangible materials. Okay, so those are the two classification of operations: manufacturing, producing tangible things and items, and services, delivering service, which cannot be stored, which cannot be it will be produced immediately as it is needed. Okay, so service operations management. Okay, so it is the term that is used to cover the activities, decision, and responsibilities of operations managers in service organizations. Okay, so term used to cover the activity, any activity, decision making, responsibilities, accountabilities of operations managers. Okay, talking about service organizations. Okay, so manufacturing operations will often compensate for, okay, so compensate for fluctuations in demand by fulfilling demand from finished goods inventory produced during a slack period. When we say slack period, these are the time that no movement, okay, low demand, no production, and so on and so forth, no inventory. So these are the slack time, no? So the slack period of time. Okay, so manufacturing will often compensate for fluctuations. So if you are assigned to be a manufacturing engineer, then we should have always to study our production. We have to study our demand. We have to study our market. We have to study our supply, so that we will not be able to be, uh, we will not experience slack period of time. Okay, so we have these differences of manufacturing and services operations. Okay, so we have first, we have this for the manufacturing, just a manufacturing open compensate for fluctuations in demand by fulfilling demand from finished goods inventory produced during slack period of time. So this is just a summary of what we are talking about a while ago, no? So while okay, another thing is manufacturer can simply count the volume of output of its product range. Okay, just simply count the inventory, the stocks, the output, the volume of how many, and so on and so forth, to audit and so on and so forth, the stocks that we have and the productions that we have, and that is manufacturing. While these services, it cannot be stored, as we said, no, cannot be stored. Its production consumption will occur at the same time. When it is needed, then you have to serve. When it is not needed, then of course we don't have any job, we don't have any work. So that is, or we have a work, but we cannot work in advance. We cannot produce in advance unless it is needed and necessary. All employees in a service operation have to deal with directly with the customer. So it's very clear. Deal it directly with these customers. And denoted by back office tasks which add value to the inputs of the service operations. Denoted by back office tasks which add value to the inputs of the service operations. Okay, more difficult to assist performed by such measures as productivity or output. Okay, so it is not easier to assess the quantity, the quality, because of course this is a direct services that is needed to our clients, customers, and so on. Okay, so we have here. Um, okay, so we have here most goods have, it is said, no? Most goods have some supporting service elements. Goods have some supporting service elements. Okay, so we have this, like for example, maintenance facility. Of course, if we are producing a tangible goods, then we need to have these maintenance facilities, or we call this one as a facilitating service. Okay, and then while this while many services, or while services will have supporting goods. Okay, so supporting goods only, no? A management consultancy report term is facilitating good. So we don't need other materials, we don't need elements, we don't need machines and another thing, but what we need is only consultancy report, for example, if because it is just a services. Okay, so next, system. We're talking about system here. System is a group of interrelated items in which no item studied in isolation will act in the same way as it would in the system. So it is a system is within, no, within a group, within, for example, in an organization. So our company, for example, is that represents a certain organization, and it is composed of different systems interrelated to each other. But of course, it cannot operate, it cannot function, it cannot produce unless other part of the system is also working in the same way as it would be in the system. Okay, so system is divided into a series of parts. Of course, we have this what we call as subsystems. Okay, and many system is a part of a larger system. Okay, so as I've said, even though it is just you belong to the subsystem, but the whole system cannot function without your cooperations. Okay, so we have also this boundary. Boundary defines what is inside the system and what is outside the system. Okay, so it is called boundary or boundaries, no? So we need to have also the boundary so that there will be no overlapping, or maybe confusedness, or you might being confused. Oh, who are the people assigned to this job? Who are these people in charge? And yet, what will happen is there will be some backlogs of the production, for example, no. So we have here the systems inputs. Okay, so what is the system inputs? Are the physical objects of information that enter from the environment. So we have that physical objects or input. So that is why it is called input. No, it is a physical input of information that enter from the outside world or outside environment. Okay, so We have also the system's output. Of course, it is very clear that these are the same which leave it from the environment. Okay, so if this is the organization, what it comes out will be, or it is called output. Okay, so if the product is, as an example a while ago, it is an automobile or a car, so this car is your output. With from within the organization and the manufacturing company, the output is the car. Okay, so that is the output. Anything which will live from the within the environment. Okay. Okay, so classification of operations, systems, and activities. So what are the classifications? I mentioned input, we have the transmission process, transformation process, and the output. Okay, so this input could be, for example, no, in our here we have our sugar company, sugar productions. Okay, so an example of an input may be the sugar cane. The raw materials is the sugar cane. So from the plantation, it will be transported by trucks and then delivered to the sugar company, sugar milling company, and we have these processes. Okay, so those are the inputs, and this time we have these processes, and the processes may include or we call this one as roller that press to produce juices from the sugarcane. Then it will be transported or delivered to the tank, and we have this process of centrifugal and other mixing materials, and then heated, and then it will produce crystallized material, and it is now your sugar, and it will go with the process of centrifuge, so that the sugar will be collected from the side of this machine, and then collected, then processed again, and then transported to the baggage area, then or then transported into the other process, the decolorization to make it white sugar. So these are this transformation process. We have this a flow, or the operational flow of how to produce this sugar. Now, talking about the output, of course, the sugar itself is the output. Okay. So the operation system is concerned with the converting the transformed resources from inputs into an outputs in the form of goods and or services. Okay. So that is just an example now. Transforming resources are the elements that act on or carry out the transformation process on other elements. Okay, such as labor. This is an example of an input. Labor also is an input. Sugarcane, as an example, is one of the input. And laborers, land, and equipment. These are some of the considered as an input, no? And even energy. Okay, we have three main types of transformer resource of materials, which which can be transformed either physically or through manufacturing, or it could be. Oh, by the way, when we say transform either physically by manufacturing, example, it is by location. Okay, transform into location by location, transporting it from one place to another places. Okay, delivery, for example, from the production going to the stock room, or the storage facilities, no? So these are some of these uh, resource, no, resource of materials, and also by ownership also. So example to ownership, this is by to retail, or by by bulk or whatsoever, no? So uh, we have the ownership is one of this one, no? Okay, so transform through ownership, and then storage also, or warehousing. Actually, warehousing storage facilities this time is very important. Okay, so it is also very important, no? Okay, then we have this information which can be transformed. Okay, so it is not only the raw, but also the information can be transformed. Okay, by property, through example, through accountants, no, transform it into uh, the property by position through research, market research, or by storage through libraries, no. Okay, so and also location, like for example, like telecommunications. Okay, so which customers transform either physical, okay, customers transformed either physical by storage, by location also, by physiological state. Like for when you say storage, like hotels, or when you say locations like transportations, something like airlines, or physiological state like hospitals for another psychological state is entertainment also. Okay, so these are some of the transformation process. Okay, so we have that transformations. Mhm. So next we have types of transforming resources. Okay, number one, we have the facilities. So types of transforming the resources. We have the facilities. Okay, so what are the example of the facilities? We have the building and equipments. Building, equipments, machineries. These are some of the facilities. Staff. These are the human resources. The people involved in the operations process, the line operations, the line managers or supervisors, the operation managers, the operation supervisors, the laborers, and any other employees and staff, utilities, up to the janitors. These are the example of the staff. Okay, so the three main functional areas in a business. So let's proceed to the three main functional areas of in a business. We have the operations managements or operations functions. We have the marketing functions. I think I give you already an idea about marketing, no? So this is also very important in a system. Why? Because if marketing will fail, everything will fail. Okay, if marketing meet a problem, then of course everything will meet a problem. That is the problem in system. Okay, so finance also. I discussed this one already. To go deeper with this marketing function, it is work to find and create demand for the companies, good services by understanding customer needs and developing new markets. That is very important. Okay, you are not in charge of marketing, selling of goods or services, but of course you are also responsible of whatever or determining or finding whatever the needs of the customers or the clients, or what is needed for uh, for the market, no? Or what so that because we know that from time to time there is a need of development, market development. Okay, so like for example, cell phone, from time to time, new products, new design should be made. Okay, so that otherwise some of our designs might be already obsolete. Okay, so that is the function or the lookouts of the marketing in charge of marketing managers. Okay, so it provide the forecast of demand from which operation can plan sufficient capacity in order to deliver goods and services on time. Okay, forecasting is very important. Okay, forecasting is very important, especially especially these goods, no? Like for example, an example, here comes Christmas season, even on September, October, November. So we know that we have several occasions, several celebrations during this time. So for example, if our product is beverage, okay, a soda, for example, a soft drinks, for example, then you should have to forecast the demand every year or for this month, for example. So operation managers is the function of the operation manager is very important to, based on the marketing, okay, based on the marketing feedback or data, then we have to forecast the demand for this months, no, up to the end of the celebrations or to the period. Okay, so talking about good differ with the finance function is responsible for the obtaining and controlling all funds and covering decisions such as investment, equipment, and price volume decisions. Okay, so this is also necessary and important. Okay, so in during operations or in operations. Okay, so responsible for obtaining and controlling funds. As I mentioned, the company, the organization cannot work, or even our government cannot work without money. Okay, because as we know, that money is the life and blood of any organization. So we have to control, we have to obtain. You are the responsible. You are accountable if we will be experiencing bankruptcy. Okay, so that's it, no? So also decision making is very important here. As investment equipment, okay, so in an organization, for example, in a company, for example, do not let your organization, your company becoming more obsolete by this time, from time to time, computer technology interfacing, machine interfacing is very important to produce faster outputs or operate efficiently. So we have to invest also our equipment and machineries, and of course, price, volume decisions, and others. So these are the things that you're going to consider. Okay, so we have this operations function is involved in all parts of the firm and thus a major impact in the competitive position of the organization. Involve all parts. Okay, so it is not just finance, you just involve finance, you just involve marketing, but all parts of the system. Involve all parts in the system. Okay, so other functions also, no? Okay, so in the system, in operations management, personnel functions which play a role on the recruitment and labor relations. This is the job now of HRMO, the Human Resource Management Office, to study the records of the personnel, the records of the staff and other employees, so that you will be able to forecast who will retire for this year, for example, who will be going to resign, for example, or improvement seminar trainings and so on, so that the operation uh, will not meet any problem. Okay, the flow is will continue smoothly. Okay, then another one is the research and development function of the system. Okay, so study, okay, new ideas, then try to research and try to develop, try to design. Okay, so try to generate and investigate the potential of new ideas. As I've said a while ago, that it is necessary that from time to time we need to upgrade based on the level of the needs of the customers and the clientels. We have to upgrade always. Okay, so we need to have this research and development function. Okay, so at the same time, information technology. Okay, department, it is necessary. IT is very important this time. Okay, MIS, Management Information System, is very important this time. This is to make easier our job will be performed. Our day-to-day operations will be performed easily if we have this MIS or the Management Information Systems. Okay, it is not necessary to walk to other departments, to walk to other sections, to other buildings, but just open the computer, the network, try to coordinate with the other departments through internet, through ICT. So then, so that is why this is to make it easier. So that is why information technology department is also needed. Okay, so remember this one. Um, the need of operations to improve performance across a number of attributes, okay, like quality, delivery, costs, and others, means that competitive improvements will require long-term commitment and thus strategic view of operations. So take note that what we need and what we satisfy towards to the clients or to the customers is quality of our output, the product, the delivery, how fast, how efficient our delivery, and of course the cost. That is very important. Some of the buyers, some of the customers are very fond of comparing cost between same products with other brands, for example. So we have to consider this one in operations. Okay, so it means that there is a competitive improvements and it is required for a long-term commitment. Okay, so we have this what we call as a strategic view of operations. Planning is very important. Okay, so the approach require a commitment to quality, improve and improve in other competitive factors that together will lead to reduction in cost. Okay, so requires a commitment to quality. Okay, so that is very important, and it will become one of the competitive factors. No, so of course will lead to a reduction in cost. Otherwise, uh, if the because as we know that whenever there is an improvement or whenever there is an upgrading, now there is also a an increase of cost in production, transportation, or delivery of goods, and so on and so forth. Marketing. So what will happen? Cost is now crucial, especially to the clients. So we have to study, okay, to have good quality output, efficient delivery, and at the same time, uh, reduction or reduced cost to our product. Okay, so we have here um, the process view of organizations. Okay, so there has been a move away from considering business as a set of discrete functional areas towards a view of the organization. Okay, move away from considering business. Consider business every time. It should be business. So this is a discrete functional areas towards view of the organization. As I mentioned that we will always be thinking of business, whatever, no, whatever companies, services that we have, we should have to consider also business. Okay, of course, that is the important factor that you are going to consider. How much that we gain profit, or how much we will lose, or how much we will produce, or how much we will spend to if you are going to do this to have, for example, to have this activity and so on and so forth. So that is related to business, consisting of sets of process which link together in order to meet customers' needs. Remember this one? Customer's need is always considered. Okay, so any company, any organization, any group or organization, the need of the customer is always considered. Okay, so processes can be related in functional area. Okay, then what are the example of this functional area? The production area, the production line, the manufacturing line. Okay, so these are some of this functional area. Then we have also this cross-functional activities. Example to this, fulfilling customers' orders. Okay, now take note this one, class, that whenever there is a discrete, or maybe we call this one as stopping, closing from time to time of our source of supply, we will lose our customers. Okay, so we should have to fulfill, okay, the customer needs always and customer orders. Okay, so see to it that our supply is continuous. Okay, so that we will not lose our customers. Customer is always looking for a supplier that could supply always in a continuous way, rather than this discrete and uh, okay, so inefficient supply of our products, no? So all other functional areas like planning activities and so on. Okay, so functional process would be situated in areas like operations, okay, like marketing and finance, and okay, so we will not go deeper with this one because I discussed this one already. That the operations and marketing and the finance will work together to have an efficient performance of our production system. No? So, in the customer's view, the value they gain is dependent on the performance of the set of linked process involved in the delivery of the product or services. Okay, so that is very important. That we should have to be careful with the supply delivery. Okay, supply delivery, the orders of our clients and customers. So the delivery of the product and the services. Okay, so I mentioned that if you are uh, losing a supply, maybe it will uh, affect our business. That maybe we will lose our clients and our customers, no? Because our customer is always looking for the efficient production and efficient supply of materials. The term value added is used to denote the amount of value a process creates for its internal and or external customers. Value added. That is very important. Amount of value process creates for its internal or external customers. The set of process used to create the value for a customer is often called the value chain. The value chain. What is the value of your company? Okay, so if it is maintained, if it is continuous, it is on the process. So we have all these things that we have. Okay, so this may includes primary process, directly creates the value the customer perceives, and then you have the support processes, assess the primary process and adding values. Okay, so take note this one. The key issue is that the configuration of the value chain should be aligned with the particular way the organization provides value to the customer. So take note of these words: aligned with a particular way. So we have several processes, we have several way, we have several procedures and strategies, but it should be aligned, okay, with the that particular way should be aligned with the organizations provides value to the customers. Okay. Okay, so I think those are the things that we need to discuss with this introductory part. Definition of what is operations management, operation engineering, and so on. So I hope that we're able to discuss a few things, some things. So for the meantime, if you think that this discussion helped you, and we have other videos that will come out, then try to subscribe my channel, my YouTube channel, and then try to subscribe, and then try to click the notification so that every time new video that will come out, you will be notified. Thank you very much, and good day, and God bless you, and God bless us all. Thank you. God bless.